Good evening. My name is Melissa Semyon, and I am the chapter counselor for the Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Sigma Lambda, as well as a senior academic planning coordinator for the Division of Extended Learning. On behalf of SUNY Oswego, the Division of Extended Learning, and the Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Sigma Lambda, I would like to welcome our inductees, chapter members, honorary members, distinguished guests, friends, family members to our 2024 induction ceremony. We're extremely pleased to have you here tonight as we recognize the exceptional achievements of SUNY Oswego's adult learners. I would like to acknowledge some of our guests this evening. Dr. Ramin Mohammadi, Associate Provost for Undergraduate and Special Programs. Dr. Laura Spenceley, Dean of the School of Education. Dr. Paul Tomaschek, Associate Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And Magdalena Rivera, Assistant Dean of Students, as well as Dr. Sandra Barganier, Professor of Health Promotion and Wellness and Program Director for the Integrative Professional Studies Program. I would also like to thank Tricia House, Renee Ham, Sarah Worley, Nora Anderson, Karen Archibee, Jay High, Carrie Moschek, and the rest of the extended learning staff for their help in putting together this ceremony. And if I forgot somebody, please forgive me. Before inviting Dr. Pippin to the stage, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the virtual attendees who are joining us remotely for this special event. Your presence is greatly appreciated, and we're grateful for your participation in this celebration. As we move forward, I encourage all virtual attendees to utilize the chat feature or virtual hand-raising option, if you have it available, to indicate your presence and engagement. Feel free to wave through your webcam or use a virtual emoji wave to join in the festivities. Your involvement adds depth and richness to our gathering, and we're thrilled to have you with us. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Jill Pippin, Dean of the Division of Extended Learning at SUNY Oswego.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you for all your work on this as well, because I know that you've been very instrumental to this. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's not 75 degrees, thankfully, because otherwise I think this room would be empty. So I'm glad that for those of you that are here in person, as well as for those of you who are virtually with us as well. Alpha Sigma Lambda is recognized as the official National Honor Society for adult learners by the Association of College Honor Societies. Their aim is to recognize the special achievements of adults who accomplish academic excellence while facing competing interests at home and work. The Alpha Sigma Lambda Adult Student Honor Society is dedicated to the advancement of scholarship and leadership and encourages students to continue toward and to earn associate and baccalaureate degrees. It is the only such honor society for adult students on this campus and is highly respected by the faculty, staff, and leadership at SUNY Oswego. So if you look around the room and you think about it, there are representatives here from administration, staff, professional folks who very much are supporting our adult learner and appreciative of the work that you do. Adult learners enrolled in higher education bring life experiences and practical knowledge to the classroom, which enriches the learning environment for all. Typically age 24 and older, adult students are goal-oriented and often must navigate challenging life circumstances from home and work in order to achieve their education. They are focused individuals that may have started college and stopped out due to extenuating circumstances. They may be career changers or veterans of military service. They typically have full-time jobs, spouses or aging parents, children, certainly tight budgets, and a plethora of responsibilities, yet they remain focused on their educational and career goals and have invested in themselves and in their future by committing to their education. I'm pleased to be here tonight to be able to recognize the scholarship and accomplishments of 27 talented and hardworking adult students pursuing undergraduate degrees at SUNY Oswego. 4 of them are here in person and 6 are here virtually tonight. The others are no doubt either in class or attending to other demands on their time. These students have earned at least a minimum 3.2 cumulative grade point average and come from 15 undergraduate programs offered both in person and online, and spanning all 4 of our schools and colleges at SUNY Oswego. Gathered here tonight are faculty, advisors, administrators, and staff who join me in acknowledging them and these students' accomplishments.
Alpha Sigma Lambda allows local chapters to select honorary members that have contributed to the special achievements of adult learners by helping them overcome the obstacles they may face. This year, we are pleased to induct Teresa Gilliard-Cook, Associate Director of Instructional Design at SUNY Oswego. As the Associate Director of Instructional Design at SUNY Oswego, Teresa's impact has been profound. Her passion for learning boundless and her commitment to accessible higher education has been unwavering. Throughout her tenure, Teresa has been a trailblazer, crafting engaging learning experiences that resonate deeply with all students, and particularly adult learners. Her dedication to ensuring accessibility and inclusivity in education is both inspiring as well as transformative. From her modest beginnings to her current pursuit of a PhD, Teresa's journey is a testament to the resilience and determination of an adult learner. Her contributions to SUNY Oswego and the broader educational community are immeasurable, and her spirit of lifelong learning continues to inspire us all. Teresa also happens to be our keynote speaker for the evening. Please join me in welcoming Teresa Gilliard-Cook, whose journey inspires us all to embrace the transformative power of education.
Thank you, Melissa, and I want to thank everybody who has been part of this evening. I really appreciate this honor. I also want to congratulate all of the inductees. Your inclusion in Alpha Sigma Lambda, wow, sorry, let me slow down. Your inclusion in Alpha Sigma Lambda recognizes you and your accomplishments as you continue to move forward with your goals. And in spite of everything that's thrown at you as an adult student, we all persevere, we all demonstrate grit, we demonstrate determination and stick-to-itness. And it doesn't matter if you have stopped out and come back. It doesn't matter when you started this journey. It doesn't matter if you've changed majors, like I have multiple times, changed jobs, with or without family support. What's really important is that you keep moving forward for your goals. As an adult student, each one of us have very unique stories, circumstances, and challenges along the way as we are earning our degrees or have earned them. There are pieces and parts of our stories and lives that are similar and yet very different. But regardless, as a non-traditional student, adult student learner, we can relate. We are driven, we are resourceful, we are motivated, and we want to succeed. So I had a very convoluted journey along the way, and I did start as a traditional student. I went to the local community college. I was a music major, classical voice, to be exact. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, but I was like, yeah, I want to do music, okay. And then things happened along the way. I met someone and got distracted, finished my first year with not a great GPA, and found out I was pregnant. So, changed plans. So, a very silly, scared, immature, and not so ready at 19 me got married, moved 3 hours away from my family, and then a couple of months later, 25 days before my 20th birthday, I had my son. When my son was about 18 months old, I went back to college again full-time, but this time doing pre-nursing. First semester was not easy to get through, and it wasn't because I couldn't do the material, it was more because there was indications that the marriage was starting to fall apart. I didn't pass everything, but I passed enough to continue and was able to return the following semester. Not as much, even less support then, and I realized I just wasn't being successful. We tried again to work out things so I could go back in the fall, part-time. I got a part-time job, and that didn't happen. And the realization came to both of us that what he really wanted was a more traditional spouse, not me. So my son wasn't quite 4, and the marriage ended. So we do what we need to survive, and in my case, I applied for social services. You do what you got to do, right? When my son started kindergarten, I applied for and was accepted into a secretarial skills program so that I could find a decent job to be able to support my son and I. I was eventually able to go back and take some classes, and in the meantime, I had met someone who supported me and my goals to earn a college degree, and the guy's sitting over there on the table with the maroon shirt. We found a way for me to take classes as I could, as the money was there. And then, of course, there was another change of major, business administration. I took classes for a few semesters, and then the business he was working at was closing, and he was given a choice of where he could transfer to. So we opted to transfer to Syracuse. It was about 6 months before our wedding. We made it work. When we settled in to the community, been here for a while, I went back again, taking courses one at a time as I could. And that's just how I kept going. So things went on for a couple more years, and then this business he was at closed. And it took a few months, and he found a job at Syracuse University. What was great with that is I had access to his benefits because I was a spouse of an SU employee, and I started taking classes through University College. University College is similar to Oswego's continuing ed, or a division of extended learning. And it was through UC that I received the support that I needed to be a successful adult learner. My advisor sat down with me. She helped me come up with a plan, and the plan was more than I ever thought I would. I always thought I would just get the associate's degree and move forward from there. But she helped me with a plan to get the bachelor's degree. We mapped it out in a way so I could continue part-time. She was amazing, and I do believe she was a huge part of my ability to complete that degree. I kept moving forward, fall, spring, summer courses. Every once in a while, I did 2. That was always fun when you're working full-time with a kid and a husband who was working crazy hours. And then one day, my husband says to me, you know, we should really look into you going back to school full-time because I have the benefits. Let's see if we can make it work. So at 34, with a 14-year-old, I went back to school full-time on campus with students who were closer in age to my child than to me. I walked in with junior status because of all of the other courses I took. Majority of them transferred in, so that allowed me to finish in 2 years. Even with a kid who didn't want to go to school, at that time, the 14-year-old was having no part of this. He preferred to go to classes with me because they were more interesting. I was really, really lucky at SU. I had faculty who supported me. The office staff was amazing. And then, of course, you know, life has to throw us more challenges. So the summer between my junior and senior year, I was working an internship at a local consulting company. And of course, since the child did not want to go to school, he had to go to summer school that year. But then, you know, a couple weeks before the start of the semester, my husband falls off the ladder. And yeah, so he needed surgery to fix it, 6 weeks in a fixator to hold it in place, then physical therapy. And so when physical therapy started, he couldn't drive himself at that point, so I had to drive him. But that meant missing my 9 a.m. class, and it was a class I needed for graduation. It was programming, fabulous. And I was like, all right, I'll just have to drop it, and I'll have to pick it up the following semester, and I'll just have to take 18 credits my last semester, or something like that. Went and talked to my professor, and she looked at me, and she says, oh, you're not dropping this course. Oh, no, no, no. can you get here by 11 on this day, or something to that effect? I said, yeah, I can. She goes, no. He goes, you do what you have to do, get him to physical therapy, you get your butt to campus after that, I will teach you in my office during office hours. What do you say to that? You're like, okay. I loved this woman. She was wonderful all through the rest of my time there. So yeah, I passed. And then in May, after starting 18 years earlier, I finished my bachelor's degree. But then right after graduation, I immediately started a master's program with support from the university. The program I was in was telecommunications and network management. My first tasks were to support a group of adult online learners that came to campus for 2 weeks as part of their residency. So it was then I started learning about the LMS and learning about all of those little things that go on behind the scenes. And I really became interested in online. So I did a lot of work with different individuals in the School of Information Studies as I worked through my program. But then 2 years later, I hadn't quite completed all the coursework, but I was hired by the local community college's information technology department to build a help desk and to support the college's faculty and students. And those of you that know anything about IT then and still is a very male-dominated field. So I had a pretty good clue what I was walking into. I was grateful for the fact that I had work experience behind me, so I knew when guys will be guys, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But what was even more interesting during that time was that a majority of the staff did not have degrees or certifications. And again, it was a different time. I did finish the master's during the first couple of years I was at the community college. And it was during those first few years that the college started offering online courses. And the little bit of background I had from supporting learners when I was in grad school gave me a few insights into the ideas of building online courses. And I really wanted to focus on that, but other things had priority. So a variety of staffing changes happened, department needs, and I was tapped to manage things like a rollout of several major systems, manage a team of computer repair technicians, become the backup system administrator. It was a fun time. It really was fun. But then the college finally hired a chief information officer who changed the department structure. He brought in more staff to better support the college's IT needs, and he brought in 2 women managers. I had colleagues, and they had advanced degrees. It was fabulous, because we supported each other in ways that only women can support each other, especially when you're in a field that is so male-dominated. So again, and as this happens in a lot of places, especially when you're in middle management, restructuring happens, and my position was eliminated. So yeah, another curveball, but an opportunity as well. I knew I was really interested in supporting learners, how people learned, and online learning. So I applied to Syracuse University's Instructional Design Development Evaluation Program, and I was accepted. This program provided opportunities to work with faculty on real-life projects and utilize my technical skills. It was a match. It was a dream. I fell in love with the field that has become my passion. I stayed in the program for several years, having been admitted into the doctoral program, and felt I needed to work in the field, so I opted to take a position as an instructional designer in corporate. So the day before I start, I get a breast cancer diagnosis. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so I go, this job, by the way, was in Rochester, so I was commuting. So I go in, and I meet all my colleagues, and I'm just making sure I'm reading my manager, and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a couple minutes? So go in his office, and I said, hey, you need to know, I'm gonna be having more tests eventually, I'm gonna have to have some surgery. I just want you to know now, because if this isn't gonna work, no harm, no foul. Well, after he picked his jaw up off the floor, he looked at me and he said, we got you. You're part of our family now. We'll make it work. So we went on. 3 months later, the company was bought out by another company, and a third of the company was laid off. But because of the New York State Worker Adjustment and Retraining Act, the WARN Act, those of us that were laid off were provided 3 months of benefits and pay, which was another blessing because at that point I was trying to figure out how I was going to do radiation. So, okay, days go by, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks after this layoff, a good friend of mine from grad school sends me a link in the email. She goes, "Isn't this what you do?" It was the link to be an instructional designer position here at SUNY Oswego. I thought, that was kind of serendipitous, I suppose. All I can tell you is that 12 years later, I still love my work. I'm incredibly fortunate to do what I love as an instructional designer, and my extended learning family has been and continues to be the biggest supporters that enables my amazing team and I to do the work to help faculty create engaging learning experiences for our students. And I've continued taking classes for most of my adult life, whether for professional development or to make progress toward a doctorate. Wow. But as my dearest friend, whom I've known most of my life, says, I'm a perpetual student. And she's right, I am. For all adult learners who balance so much, work, school, family, the curveballs, we are resilient, we are focused, we are strong. Those of you that are moving forward now, even though you may not think so, you thrive on those challenges. But we all continue to move forward and reach our goals. And along the way, there are setbacks. But I think in most cases, the rewards that allow us to move forward let us shine. And thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. As we prepare to continue with the induction ceremony, please join me in welcoming Greg Ketchum, Assistant Dean and former Eta Gamma Chapter Counselor, to the stage. Greg, your wealth of experience makes you the perfect person to shed light on the aims and ideals of our Honor Society. By understanding these principles, we can fully appreciate the significance of the Pledge of Membership that follows.
Thank you, Melissa. First of all, a word of welcome and congratulations to all of our inductees who are with us, who are online, your family members who could join us in this special moment, and our friends, faculty, and staff who gathered here to also help you celebrate and acknowledge your accomplishments. So again, congratulations to you. Now I want to tell you, you didn't know this, but the price of admission tonight is you get a lesson from me. The upside? There will not be a quiz, just so you know, okay? So let me start with a question to you all. Why do honor societies use Greek letters for their names? Any ideas? Because they sound cool. Yeah, I suppose that's one good reason. It actually goes back to the very first honor society in the United States, which was Phi Beta Kappa, which actually dates back to 1776, if you can believe that. But again, let's come back to my first question, right? Why Greek? Why Greek? Well, at the founding of our country, there were only really a handful of institutions of higher learning. Those are the ones that today we think of as the Ivy League. So Harvard, Yale, William and Mary, and King's College, which we know today as Columbia University. And at that point in time, the only reason that someone went to college was actually to pursue one of two vocations. You were either going to become a lawyer or you were going to join the clergy. And education at that point in time was deeply rooted in teaching the classics. We have this term, classical education. What that really means is that if you were at that point in time in 1776, you were learning to read, write, and speak both Greek and Latin as you studied those texts in their original language. So that's how it gets handed down to us, okay? So now we have the why. So now let's consider the what. And Jill referenced this in her opening remarks. The Greek letters alpha, sigma, and lambda form the name of our society, and they do have a meaning to us. Alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet and therefore means first. Sigma is symbolic of scholarship, and lambda denotes leadership. So, alpha, sigma, lambda forms the framework of our motto, which is first in scholarship and leadership. Now let's break that down a little bit more. Scholarship can be defined as an advanced study in some special field, but at the heart of scholarship is you, the scholar, the learner. The true scholar realizes that learning is a continuing process and is aware of the gaps in their own knowledge. Scholars are never convinced of the finality of their findings and are dedicated to the task of seeking the truth, no matter where it is. Leadership is the activity of guiding and enabling people to cooperate in achieving some common goal or objective. Leaders unite people to pull together as one while supporting their individual growth. The important qualities of leadership are clear communication, decisiveness, integrity, empathy, and empowerment of others. So now, let's reflect on how these values are represented in our key. And the key is actually front and center here with me on the podium. For our inductees, at the end of this, you'll receive a lovely little pin that is also the key. So you'll get to study these things up close, okay? So, taking a look at the key, in the upper right quadrant is an open book, and this symbolizes the love of knowledge. The love of knowledge is different from knowledge itself. Knowledge alone is broad, seeking everywhere for the relationships that give meaning to our time, place, culture, and history. We believe that men and women who aspire to the broad spirit of learning, the love of knowledge, will seek to catch the fullness of life, even in the midst of their busy utilitarian pursuit of special knowledge. In the lower left quadrant of our key is a lighted Roman lamp. For centuries, the lamp has served as a symbol of wisdom. Knowledge can exist without wisdom, but wisdom is the intersection of knowledge, experience, and judgment. Knowledge is knowing what to say. Wisdom is knowing when to say it. At the center of the key is a burning torch, the symbol of life. The burning torch is part of our logo because we believe that the love of knowledge and the pursuit of wisdom are the cornerstones upon which life itself should be constructed. And so, here endeth my lesson. And here is my charge to you. We have before us the challenge to be mindful of the ideals towards which we strive, to gain not only knowledge, but also to foster love of knowledge, to prepare us to be not only specialists, but also better human beings, to appreciate the relationships that our vocations bear to life, and overall, to keep our minds open, to give our best thoughts to the whole of life, and to align our spirits to a better understanding of the world in which we live.
Thank you, Greg. Tonight as we gather, there's one more individual we must honor as an honorary member of Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Sigma Lambda. It is with immense pride and admiration that we unveil our surprise honorary inductee, Dr. Jill Pippin. In her capacity as the Dean of SUNY Oswego's Division of Extended Learning, Dr. Pippin has dedicated her professional journey to the noble cause of expanding access to higher education, with a special focus on adult learners. With unwavering dedication, Dr. Pippin tirelessly advocates for the needs of adult learners, offering a diverse array of degree programs and professional development opportunities across Oswego, Syracuse, and online platforms. Prior to her esteemed role at SUNY Oswego, she served as the Dean for Continuing Education at Jefferson Community College in Watertown, New York, where her innovative programs were tailored explicitly to the unique needs of adult learners. Dr. Pippin's commitment to this cause shines brightly through her recent completion of her Doctor of Education degree with a focus on executive leadership at St. John Fisher University. Her dissertation, titled Higher Education Designed for Non-Traditional Students, intricately examines the program design features that significantly impact attraction, enrollment, and persistence in degree programs tailored for adult learners. And now, with deep appreciation for her unwavering dedication and significant contributions to the field of adult education, I invite Dr. Jill Pippin to the stage to accept the honor as an esteemed member of the Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Sigma Lambda. Here. Dr. Pippin, your commitment to widening access to higher education for adult learners is truly inspiring, and your innovative approaches have made a profound impact on the lives of countless individuals. We extend our heartfelt congratulations and utmost respect as you join the distinguished ranks of our honorary members. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Dr. Jill Pippin.
Seriously. I can't believe these guys pulled out the surprise. I have a script of the night, and it just goes blank right now. So, this is so unexpected and so appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Especially, there's one thing that I would say to those of you who are the non-traditional students tonight, is there's nothing so special or so wonderful than to have the people that work with you to acknowledge you and the work that you've done, because they know the work that goes into it. And that being said, I have to thank Teresa for her wonderful words and sharing her story today. It's very inspirational. I know that you don't share it very often or very fully the way that you did tonight. And I think a lot of people in this room drew some inspiration from your tenacity and perseverance. So congratulations to Teresa. Yeah. And what a wonderful group we have. Thank you. Thank you so much. This means a lot. I really appreciate it. But I'm going to go off script for a second and say, folks online, as well as folks here in the room that are part of our inductees, I know you share that perseverance. Because as an adult, whatever it is, and even if it's simply that you just had a little pause, you still had to make room for education in your lives, and you still had to prioritize it, and you still had to work through, potentially, an institution that may not have always had all the supports that you needed, right? You might have had to work through some issues. I bet you did. And we're trying our best to kind of work through and support as much as we can so that there can be continued scholarship and development of our students, our adult students, so that they can concentrate on learning. So now I'll get back on script here so that we can kind of continue the night. But thank you. This really means a lot. Thank you, guys. As candidates for membership, you now understand the scholarship and leadership for which Alpha Sigma Lambda stands. Greg did a great job in giving you that lesson. So will the student candidates for induction please assemble at this side of the room with Melissa? So those of you in person, please come up on stage. And those of you online, your part to participate is coming right up, so listen up, folks. You have heard the aims of our society and the qualifications expected of you. Will you now repeat after me the Pledge of Membership? You folks online as well, you can unmute. I promise to uphold the ideal and further the aims of Alpha Sigma Lambda. Believing that by so doing, this is a tricky one, believing that by so doing, I shall increase my value to my school and to my community. Okay, that's enough. You don't have to repeat after me anymore. We welcome you to membership in Alpha Sigma Lambda. On this occasion, let us resolve that its significance shall not be of the day or of the hour, that it shall be connected not with experiences but with sincerities, and that we go forth from this place, we will strive more earnestly than ever before to make the love of learning and the pursuit of wisdom the companion and guide of life. We ask you to treasure this association, remembering what it signifies. In return, Alpha Sigma Lambda extends to you the privileges and honors of membership. As I call your names, please come up and receive your membership certificate and pin. And for those of you participating virtually, please turn your camera on and wave when recognized. And I apologize in advance if I say your name incorrectly. Aletta Simpson, creative writing. Brittany Brannon, criminal justice. Bryce Bethune, broadcasting and mass communication. Carly Moss, criminal justice. Charles Rufy, wellness management. Daniel Lindberg, philosophy, psychology. David Krasner, business administration at the Syracuse campus. David Salinas, software engineering. Emma Blowers, criminal justice. Jack Kane, business administration. Jessica Maldonado, broadcasting and mass communication. Okay, this one I know is here. John Roth, information science. Woo-hoo. Also, Melissa Kowalik, business administration. Woo-hoo. Melissa Stanley, broadcasting and mass communication. Michael Merman, broadcasting MBA 5-year program. And this person's here as well, I believe. Misty Johnson, public relations. Yay. Noah Bull, business administration. Is it this one? Yes. Raina Strickland Burns, business administration. Shayla Schuler, integrative professional studies. Woo-hoo. Shepard Koza, cinema and screen studies. Susan Perot, criminal justice. Temitope Emope, computer science. Yay! Teresa Serrano Moody, public relations. Timothy Arnold, adolescent education 7 through 12, social studies. Tanya Bigness, human development, Syracuse campus. Yay. Veronica Raven, wellness management. Janae Nicholas, Integrated Professional Studies. I think that's everybody. So after induction into the Honor Society, each year members are eligible to apply for the Alpha Sigma Lambda Scholarship. This year, one of our members was awarded the $300 scholarship in recognition of their academic achievement, potential for success, community service, and personal leadership qualities. I'm sure each of you could use $300, right? So I urge you to apply next year. I also encourage you to take the time to look at the national organization's website where there are more scholarships and resources in support of adult learners. On behalf of SUNY Oswego's Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Sigma Lambda Honor Society, I welcome our new members and commend you on your academic achievements. In the words of Nelson Mandela, there is no passion to be found in playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. You have shown the clarity of purpose in setting this goal. You have obtained the family and career support that is so important to persistence and success in higher education. You have shown tenacity to overcome those challenges, as Teresa has described so poignantly today, and you've not only passed your courses, but with honors. Add this membership to your resume, your LinkedIn page, and social media. Be proud of your accomplishment, as we are of you. Congratulations. You've earned the respect and honor that membership implies. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to our 2024 Alpha Sigma Lambda inductees. Woohoo! Folks online, I hope you have a drink. Well, that concludes our formal portion of the ceremony. Please enjoy refreshments and toast our newest inductees. New inductees who are in here in person, please come to the stage for a quick group photo. Folks, we have cake, there is the cash bar over there, and food. Please mingle and take time to celebrate. Virtual folks, please stay on for the picture too. Thanks.